Hey, what up, gamers? Hello there. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Ow! 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 Putting on a sweatshirt without putting on the sleeves. Just kind of putting it on. I feel like if I put on my hoodie like all the way, I'll end up getting too warm. Why? Also, why is my join chat not working? That's not good. This is why we make sure this stuff is working. Yeah, there was that was certainly not the time for that. Fuck you. Let me see. Commands, apps. It's so weird. Hey, there we go. Oof, one is way too big. There we go. Yippee! None of the new messages have showed up yet because I had to refresh it. So there we go. Hi. Hi, Toby. Hi, Sonic Bro. Hi, Joker. Hi, At. Hi, Zine. Hi, Caffeine. Hello, hello. Hi, Mariano. Chungus. Hello, Key. Hello. Hey, what's up, Techno? Hi. Hello, hello. I'm doing decent. How are you? We'll end up getting into the convo stuff here in a little bit, but for now we're just letting people trickle in. Ah, too big. Boom. Feeling like a Looney Tune today? Nice. An oven fell on your foot? Goodness gracious. Oven. 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 Is the oven okay? I feel a little sicky today. Honestly, I'm just nervous. Hi, El Ringo. How are you? How's the music? Is the music okay? Can you hear it? Is it too loud? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about quite a lot. So I'm definitely nervous. I'm definitely a little scared, a little nervous. But it's for me, so yeah. I have a little something here to help me relax a little bit. Oh, thank you, Caffeine. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Oh, I forgot to make a post. Hi, Kenny. How are you? Talk. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello. Bored. Excuse me. Oh no, did I delete my recent? Nope. No, there it is. Alright, thank God. I need this one. This one is very important. Ah, there again. Hi, Biako. How are you? I'm okay. We will definitely be talking here soon. Once more beans arrive. This is essentially just gonna be like my experiences with streaming and just life stuff for the last 3 years. Some clarity so as to have it in my Brian. Vaughn. What's up, gamer? What's up, dude? Hi, Aspire. Ugh. Sounds good. You love this mod? I know you do. I love that mod too. It's cool. I feel sick. If you sick, why awake? I'm sick, like nervous. That, and I slept after being up for 24 hours this morning, and even then I went and took another nap for like another 2 to 3 hours, and that made me tired even more so too. So I've just been tired. Oh, they were sub cards. Thank you, gamer. Thank you. 5 months in a row too. Thank you, my dude. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Beauty's got your back no matter what. Thank you, Vaughn. Vaughn, you've been one of my lights, bro. For real. I'll get into that then for sure. I'm gonna be talking about like my living situations, people I've met. Obviously, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say people's identities. I'm even gonna say things out of order so that way other people can't like tell who it is, because that's not what it's about. It's about me getting it out there and talking about my experiences with these things and how I want to move on from them and get them out of my brain. So a good chunk of it will be graphic and will be kind of heavy, but we'll kind of mix in some jolliness in between there too. Hi, gaming, how are you? Working week, but yeah, of course. Have a great time. I wish you a lot of time at work to be peaceful and that it's a good time for you. I hope you feel better soon, Cyberg. I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling good, man. I hope you feel better soon. That happened to me like a couple months ago, bro, where I was bedridden for an entire like day and a half. I was in so much pain, and then I had to go to a wedding the day later. I pulled out everything in the book to try to make me feel better. Undid Amen, bye bye. If it's gonna be a long one, it is. I have a lot to talk about. I'm just waiting a little bit for more peeps to trickle in, and then I'm gonna get started. And thank you, gaming. I appreciate it. I know there are people out there that care. I fortunately have been able to see and be around those peeps. It's been really nice. They're really good. Part of me is like I should get coffee, but it's too hot for coffee. It's too warm. Thank you, Sonic Bro. Thank you. And thank you for the head pats, gamer. Brother, ew. Hi, stars. Iced coffee? Iced coffee would be nice, but the dairy in me would make me feel really not so good. I'm already feeling kind of nervous and sicky because of what I'm going to talk about today, but like at the same time, even if it was nice and refreshing because it was cooled, it's the dairy. Like, I have a fan on me and I'm still hot. Bye-bye, gaming. Thank you, gamer. I appreciate it. Cheers, gamer. Cheers. Be safe. Stay safe at work as well. Ice milkshake a thing? If so, what about that? I think a milkshake is probably fine, even though it's got dairy in it. Maybe it has something to do with like the coffee beans. But every time that I drink coffee in the summertime or iced coffee in the summertime, like, it's either I'm totally fine and it doesn't affect me, or it makes me so sick to my stomach. You need a cucumber water? Dude, I love cucumber water. I had cucumber salad for dinner today. It was really nice too. I have seltzer water here, but like I'm getting sick of seltzer water. Cucumber water sounds really nice. Well, thank you, Cyborg. I really do hope you feel better soon, man. I feel it. It's just like constant tired. I really do hope you feel better soon. It sucks being in pain for so long. Enough for it to ruin your sleep too. Cucumber water, what's that? Cucumber water. Silly. Cucumber water is always nice, I agree. Hi, Keishan. Yeah. I didn't really know if I wanted to do this talk today, but it's Monday, and I was probably going to save it for a later day, but since this is the last week I'm going to be streaming before my big break, I wanted to get it done before I did any gaming. The red cucumber water is pretty good. Sleep is for the weak. You know, it's kind of true, but at the same time, I keep hearing more and more people my age dying from sleep deprivation, and it makes me more worried every day. So, even though I keep staying up for 20 plus hours, I still get terrified of it. And, you know, the thing is, though, is I stay up for that long, but then I end up sleeping for an insanely long time to make up for it. Really? Yes. Holy, what the bro? Hi, Blizzle. Hi, it's great to see you. I hope you're well. You're so sweet. How are you? It's great to see you. Oh, Jack, thank you for the sub, gamer. Thank you, thank you. Used to add strawberries to my cucumber water. That sounds so good. Cucumber water is ice with slices of cucumber. I'm alright, and you? I'm good. I'm nervous. I'm kind of scared. Because I have a lot to talk about, and a lot of it is really chill and nice, and a lot of it is very heavy and kind of dark. Yeah, Vaughn's just built different, dude. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. Aw, thank you for the kind message, Jack. I just seen it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna start from the beginning when it came to my streaming career type shit, and then trickle things here and there about some things, and then I'll try to keep things a little out of order. But I'll mainly I have like a list of things and digits and stuff to get to separately. There's also a time where I'm gonna have to mute for like 5 minutes because we had food on the smoker today, and they have to go out and bring it in, and I'm in the garage, so it's gonna have to, you know, I couldn't stay up for like that. Yeah, I mean 24 is, you know, it is what it, oh, Jack, you don't have to do that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You really don't. It means a lot to me. Thank you. This is a one of those streams where it's gonna be a little bit heavy. I'm gonna do my best not to cry because I'm gonna be fine. I've been hardened to this shit for a little bit now, and it's been on my mind. I'm mainly talking about this stuff so I can get it out of my fucking head, and you know, be able to rebrand and stream and do all that sorts of shit. That way, it's one less thing to worry about, you know. And I stop getting emotional all the time. This is gonna be like my therapy session, essentially. This is going to be me unboxing a lot of shit, so I have it documented and I have it here for people to see. And yeah. Is my VTuber lagging? It looks like it's lagging. I don't know what could be lagging it. Weird. The Hayzi vent. It's like half vent and half being able, you know, like whenever you have a secret, right? And you so desperately want to tell somebody, but you are honor bound not to. This is my way of doing that, except I'm gonna keep people's names anonymous. And this is all shit that has personally affected me. So, yeah. It kind of sucks that I'm gonna have to halt the flow because people want to bring some shit in here, but I mean, it is what it is. I tried telling the peeps that I'm living with that this was going to be a serious conversation, and they were like, eh, well, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, eh. So yeah, I'll give it another 3 more minutes, and then I'll get started. We'll start talking about some shit. Hi, Twinkie. Yeah, I'm doing pretty okay. I'm just a little nervous. It'll be the first time I've ever talked about some of this stuff to actual people, like ever. And not like a couple of people who were involved in some things, or like a family member or a professional. So some of this stuff is going to be very, very, you know. Oh, I appreciate it. This is mainly just so I can get shit out of my head. And I can stop thinking about it and move on with my life. Type shit. You know? Yeah. Someone in chat could be a professional. I've talked to a couple of professionals about some things, and I'm gonna talk with you now. And it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me to get any sort of clarity or gratification or any sort of clarity. So yeah. Did I say clarity twice? I might disable redeems. I might. This is gonna be a semi-serious topic. Not semi-serious, this is gonna be a very serious topic. I don't know how to turn them off though. Like manually turn them off though. I wish there was a button to just like turn them all off, you know? Yeah, it's event stream, so good idea. Totally, Felly. Civil's on point. I think I did it. I don't know. Boop, 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 boop. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Boop. Bork, beep, boop, beep, boop. Why did that one warn me when I turned it off? It was like, warning, you're about to disable this routine. I was like, yes, I know that. More support, totally, thank you. Yeah, no silly this time, which is why I was dumbfounded when I got, the first thing I got was a FNAF jump scare. I was like, really, bro? Yeah, of course. This is gonna talk about a lot of serious shit, so a lot of stuff that I've been feeling over the last couple years, some things that I've gone through, things that I've experienced with me and my friends, and about anonymous shit that's been eating away at me. So without further ado, why don't we get started then, eh? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back into the VOD and fucking skip it. Hi, QB. Hi. How are you? How are you, lovely? I am fucking terrified. I am genuinely like shaking, like I'm terrified to talk about some of this shit, but I want to and I need to because I want to get it out of my head. Okay, so essentially I guess I'm going to be talking about what it was like in the beginning a couple of years ago. Actually, hold on. Sorry, literally right as I said we were gonna start. I think they brought their smoker in real quick. Let me look. Hold on. And then my parents brought me a a peanut butter frosty. I'm not the biggest peanut butter person, but well, I almost never ask for stuff like this. This was definitely a surprise. Very nice, very good. It might melt. It might melt everywhere. Oh damn! right as I start. Well, here, let me go make sure before we really get into anything. Let me go. First of all, grab a cup, and make sure that everything is okay, so that way I have the room to myself. You need a treat, yeah. Something to get the shakes out, you know, because this is for a warning for people. This is going to be easily a couple hours at most of some pretty gnarly, a lot of good topics. A lot of topics and a lot of oh boy topics. So I will be right back before we really get started, okay? Just one moment. Okay, sorry about that. They were bringing that in. We had a very good food today. Okay. I gotta I gotta work myself back into it a little bit. I had to get a big cup with ice in it to put the ice cream in it, so it cooled. And I'll put a little tiny cover over that, which I hope stays. It is not. You stay, don't fall. You have ice cream on you. Don't fall. I think that'll be fine as long as I don't touch it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about everything from start to finish. I guess I'll start with kind of how it started. So a few years ago, I was feeling a bit down. I had attempted to stream back in 2018, 2019. It was not the best. I didn't really stick with it too much. I got lazy, and to be kind of fair, I was out of high school, and I didn't really know what else to do. And I had left my first college, so the whole idea of streaming it being a career for me was not feasible or fathomable in the slightest when it came to being able to do streaming. And I let it go for quite a while. COVID ended up happening, and honestly, I should have used that time. I should have. I was making bank. I was making a lot of money during that time. That would have been the best time to invest in streaming, but I wasn't mentally or mature enough to do something like that quite yet. So the years passed, and I got to around 2023, and at that time, I had moved out into my own apartment with my brother and his fiance, and it was nice. We had a pretty nice place. It was pretty expensive. Everything was pretty chill. I worked in a hotel, not too far. It was actually down the street, so I got to walk to work every day. It was pretty good. The coworkers were not the best, but you know, what job has really nice coworkers, you know? So it was around that time where some kind of crisis or whatever started to set in, that like I only talked to really like the same 3 people every day, and I didn't really know how to handle the loneliness for the time. So that's when I was like, oh man, I don't know how else to feel or how to get these feelings out. So I went and talked to a professional about it, and a lot of the time it was just me trying to seek out some kind of plausible attention or some self-worth from others for myself. And it destroyed me. It made me feel kind of small. It made me feel kind of low, and I didn't really know how to take it or how to cope with it. There were a lot of desires that I wanted. I wanted to pose, take pictures of myself, kind of model, I guess you could say, in a way. I wanted to do that sort of thing. It was so cool, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to get better at art, which at that point in time I had invested into a wonderful tablet, a giant one, my Cintiq. I love this baby. I still have it. I invested into it for my second college, to where I studied art and animation, and I graduated in 2023, no, 2024 or 5, one or the other. And at this point it was 2023, and I hadn't finished college yet, so I still had a lot of projects. Thank you. Thank you. I felt so alone, and I felt so minuscule by my self-worth, that I thought numbers and attention was everything. I thought that, you know, I was so alone when I had some of the best friends I could ask for that I wanted more. And honestly, I just wanted more friends and to meet people. I started doing VR chat and everything. And even that was too scary for me because I didn't know how to interact with people. I tried. My brother was my example. He was a social butterfly. Do you know like the stereotypical gay fellow or gay man? Well, that's my older brother, and he's a very strong individual. He's a very proud individual who doesn't take no shit, which is awesome. I dealt with a lot of mental turmoil from that for a long time, that it became a little numbing, and I started to see the signs that I was going through actual depression. It wasn't moodiness. It wasn't me, it wasn't me just being changed by my meds, even though I had, I think it was my second year at starting hormones for transitioning. And, I started to really go off my rocker a little bit, and I tried my best to make money, to live, but it wasn't enough. I wanted to officially start committing to streaming. Like, after 2 months, maybe I could go farther, maybe 3 months. And it ended up coming to the point where I was like, all right, you know what? I want to start streaming. I want to try doing it professionally. So I started streaming. I was a bit more adult in the way that I, talked. My voice was much deeper because, transitioning and all that, I hadn't really gone through with anything of changing myself properly yet. So I ended up stopping after like a month or so because I didn't know how I was feeling about my community coming together. At that point, I wasn't strictly 18 plus yet, so I pretty much let anyone who was kind and nice into my community, who was chill, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna be a friendly streamer, and everything's gonna be really fun. That wasn't any fun at all. I had to censor myself constantly. I felt like I wasn't catering to a community of people that really felt like myself. So after like the first month or so, or like a couple months, maybe 1 or 2 months, I was like, stop. Nope. I purged like my entire Twitch chat completely. And I was like, you know what? We're doing 18 plus only. So I did. The only thing is that I didn't start streaming for like another maybe 6 months or so. I got really depressed again, really, really low, to the point where I was like, oh man, I failed. But at the same time, I didn't really cater to an audience that was like me, and I didn't really feel like I even tried. So after a little bit of time had passed, I had gotten some money. I quit my job and I streamed for a while. I tried again. The influence for trying again was that I just, whenever I got tired or upset or bored, I watched YouTube, obviously. And I knew VTubers were a thing, but I didn't exactly click with VTubers quite yet. I thought about that. I thought about them and I was like, it sounds neat and fun, but it doesn't sound like it's up my alley or for me. And then I started watching more content from VTuber. I started watching Iron Mouse, and I started watching a fuck ton of Zentreya. I watched so much of her YouTube stuff and everything. Even though there was a little bit there at the time, I started to peruse her streams a little bit, and I started watching other streamers like Neanners and Aethel, and dude, oh, it was so hilarious. It was so fun. It was some of the best moments I've had, where I would come home from work on my lunch break, eat or heat up like a cup of noodles or something, or a cup ramen, and I'll put like hot sauce and all these other spices or whatever in it, and then I'll just turn on a video of either Nienner's Iron Mouse or Zentreya, specifically Zen, and Nien. And I would watch it. I would watch them. It would be some of the funniest shit. It was how I got introduced to Sea Dog VA and stuff like that, and Japan vlogs and all that sorts of things. And I would put those on to fall asleep at night, or I would just come home and watch them and learn about various different things, or watch everybody be goofy. And it was fun. It was great. And it gave me a surge of inspiration to be like, I could probably make a character, or I could probably make some kind of OC, something to really scream me. For a while I just drew me as a PNG with my art style at the time. It wasn't really an OC or anything, it was just me. So I got to thinking and everything, and meanwhile every time I would go to work, I would put on one of their streams in the background. And sometimes like a manager of mine or like a coworker of mine would come in while I was watching them, and as soon as they would come in, Nia would say something about like, I don't know, like a pregnant belly or taking a shit or something, and I used to run to my phone and it would crack me the fuck up and everything. But I was a housekeeper. I worked very hard, very fast. A lot of the time I overtimed or overclocked a lot too. But it was moments like those that inspired me to do streaming. After that time frame, I didn't have any more money to be self-sustaining, so I moved to another hotel and did housekeeping there. I think I moved to like 3 hotels before I did a big move. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that time to think of an OC. And around this time, the holidays have come around. Christmas was same as always. I was just doodling and doing whatever I needed to. And then New Year's came around. So I'm gonna take a sip of water. My throat's getting dry. I went to Epcot in Disney because it was the first year that we were all able to afford going down. So we did. We had gone like a couple years prior, but that was because we had some special package or something for New Year's, and it was hell, dude. It was so awful, but the majority of it was fun. The majority of it was nice and peaceful. That year we went to Epcot. We ended up being able to afford a place for my grandmother and my grandfather to come down and stay with us at the time too. It was a nice little apartment or Airbnb or whatever, and we stayed there. It was really chill. I had brought my one monitor and PC with me, so wait, I could play games, but the internet and start streaming officially. But my internet was so ass and so awful that I barely watched Vaughn and my buddy Samurai play Gotham Knights. It was really cool. But during this time, I had sketched out an OC of mine that I had doodled before we had left for the trip. And for Christmas time, I was doodling them and making I made my VTuber design. It was very, very early in the works. And the entire trip, if you go to my TikTok and scroll down or whatever, I have a bunch of little doodles from when I first started of when I was down there, and it was nice. It gave me some inspiration to do more. Oh, excuse me. I'm feeling a little sicky, so burping is kind of helping me. But while I was down there, we actually went to the Epcot Center for the New Year's ball drop. And I ended up drinking a couple of full steins of beer. I finished my dad's, mine, and my brother's steins of beer from the German restaurant area, and it was beautiful because we loved it, and it was fun. But I started to drink more and more and more. I had a cider, I had a beer, I had at the very end I had a a top off, which was a strawberry and raspberry, I think daiquiri or something. I don't remember. And I couldn't even finish it. I was that plastered. I was pretty out of it. And we ended up finding a secluded spot in front of a building on a fence or on a rail bar. And I sat on a stone behind where my parents were. My mom was like, "Are they okay? Is everything okay?" And everything, And my dad was like, "Yeah, they're fine. It's whatever. They're having a good time." Because I was laughing, giggling. And then the fireworks were about to go off. So I went up to the railing, and it was so surreal. It was like I sobered up instantly for this one moment. The fireworks went off, and I made a wish. I looked up into the sky, and I wished for new friends. I wished for more friends, to be more specific, not new ones. I loved Vaughn and Samurai a lot. I still do. But I wished for more friends. The second, I shed a tear. Obviously, nobody saw me. But, I wiped away my tears. And once everything was happening and everything was being okay again, it all hit me like a truck. I was like, "Oh, I'm drunk again. Fuck." And then I backed away from the railing, and my dad had to carry me to the bathroom so I could use the bathroom, and carry me out to the buses so we could head back. It was super late. It was 3 a.m, and I was still awake. Everybody had gone to bed except for a couple of people. And I think I doodled one more picture, had a drink of water, and I went to bed. After coming home from Epcot and that surreal experience, I ended up starting streaming officially. I learned Live 2D for a month, and I made a half-body avatar or VTuber. I wonder if I still have it here so I can show you guys. I made it, and I used it for a little while here. Yep. Here we go. This was my avatar. Look at the mouth. Blah, blah, blah. I made this in a month, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so I'll just draw it and everything and use it." My idea of doing streaming was that Proto Hayzi. Yeah, exactly. My idea of streaming was that I was gonna be like, "You know what? I made some more money again. I'm gonna do what I did last year, and take some time off and stream." You're gonna recognize a familiar pattern, or maybe not, I'm not sure, but the way my life works, or has been over the last 10 years, is that I have a year that's really bad, and then I have the next year, which the exact same things happen to me, where I either gain a job, lose a job, talk to somebody, lose somebody, but it's better. So bad year, better version of that year, bad year, better version of that year, where it's just repeated process. I started streaming more, and me, Vaughn, would play Destiny a lot more, and Fortnite. We were in a Fortnite kick too. A bunch of other games. I started meeting people, learning what it took to make a community and what it was like. How to deal with a lot of bad apples. I met other VTubers who were starting out like me, who I'm pretty sure a majority of the VTubers that I hung out with or anything like that quit or left or aren't doing it anymore. That way Fortnite is. Yeah, it was, I remember that model too. I watched Eregan on stream. Yeah, QB was there too. You remember it all. QB, you were awesome. You still are awesome. You're fantastic. It's always amazing getting to see, or still talk to people that I've been around for quite a while. And, after a while, I was beginning to get my footing. I had an 18 plus only Discord and everything. I began to meet some people, and then it was time for me to move. Me and my family decided to well, let me give you some context. It's always been my dad's dream to move to Florida. Don't ask me. I don't know why, but that's his thing. And one year we were going to go, and we were all like, you know what? Why not move into a big house? I'll be able to stream full time, and it would be nice. So I ended up staying with my parents' house, which was beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was the one I grew up in for a good bit. And oh, Kubi, you're so fucking sweet. And same here. I'm always loving to see you grow and to see how you prosper with everything. It's always so amazing. So but yeah. We ended up going into my parents' place for a little bit. Me and my brother and my fiance, and at that time, me and my brother's fiance weren't really seeing eye to eye, so there was stress there. Me and my one brother weren't really seeing eye to eye, so there was stress there. I had to work in my brother's closet, which used to be my closet. It was very small, cramped. It was so hot at the time. I had just switched to a 3D model. And me and Vaughn would play Exoprimal, and that was a ton of fun. I loved that. I did a lot of drawing. I also started dating somebody who was very, 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 very toxic. I have really bad taste in people. I don't know what happened. I think I was just desperate, and I tried talking to this person, and they were just the worst human being. I don't know why I ever gave them the time of day. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, they were so fucking bad. They were a bad person. They were a bad anything and everything. But I'll get to that. I'll get to more of that here in a second. It was online. It was never physical. But all the stress accumulated with everybody. It got to the point where everybody sat down one day and everyone started yelling. I yelled at everybody. I yelled at my brother's partner. I yelled at my brother because they were like, we demand like an apology, and I didn't feel like I needed to give them one, because like a lot of the times I was more to myself, and anytime anybody had a problem with me, it was because they were trying to pick a fight with me. And that was one of the first times where like my family got up in my face, in a way of speaking. And I got in my car, I drove away. I thought it was over. I thought I was gonna have to pack my shit and go. And you know, it was big sucky. So I sat in a pavilion in a random park for hours, crying. Very, very much so. And I sat there, like, talking and asking my friend, like, hey, is everything okay? Or is it alright if I stay with you for a little bit? Or may I at least talk to you for a while, you know? And, you know, they ended up getting back to me like an hour later, being like, yeah, you could stay with me, it's fine. But after that point, I had gone home. None of my brothers wanted to see me. My parents were frustrated with me, so I went home and I just started fucking crying. I cried so much for so long, like all night, and people were wondering if I was okay. They came in, they consolidated me, and everybody was like, you know what, we're just gonna be a team. We all packed our stuff. Everyone's still sore. Went to Florida. We ended up having a lot of bad shit happen while we were there. My dad had an accident. My grandfather, who was supposed to come down with us to help with our bills, didn't, and it kind of fucked us a little bit. For a while it was me, my brother, and his fiance alone in this big house, which was awesome. It was nice, but I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't drive anywhere. I didn't have a car anymore. It was in the middle of nowhere. So in a way, it was a very pretty prison that I agreed to live in for a while, but it was fine. It was fine because I had internet. I sat there and I grinded. I streamed every day. Oh my God. One thing that I did starting out was that I streamed for 24 hours, 24/7, every day for months. I tried so hard to go like, all right, I'm at 800 hours streaming. I wonder if I can go to 900. I wonder if I can go to 1,000. I wonder if I can go to 1,200. And it just kept getting worse. So all of my friends, like Blinky, Yomi, and at the time, someone else that all my friends, all my streamer buddies and everybody were like, oh, hey, yeah, hell yeah, it was great seeing you and everything. And yeah, like, hail. It was awesome. Because that was like a 24-hour radio, it was a great time. And I enjoyed it. The only problem is that it was a lot of quantity over quality. And a couple of my streamer buddies were like, hey, like, we know you like doing this sort of thing, and it's a great way that you use this to kind of brute force yourself. But, if you want to grow as a creator, you need to delegate more of this time to refining your craft. You need to probably, use your art and your skills and everything to properly, form into content, long-lasting content. Because a lot of this stuff, it's good stuff. But if you're constantly streaming and you're not taking time to edit that stuff and put it into something, a lot of people are going to have to dig and sift through all of that footage in order to find the good stuff. And I was like, you know what? You make an awesome point. So I cut down on the streaming for a good bit. I was still an animal. I still streamed quite a lot for a little bit because I thought that was what I needed to do. And, I met a specific group of people who were lovely, but and around this time, I had a lot of weird fucking mental shit happen to the point where, like for instance, that toxic relationship that I was in, they cursed me, and my family, and said that they wished that I would die and all this other shit, and that my career is in the gutter, and that they hope the worst for me because I told them one evening that they didn't appreciate me, and I told them we're done. And at that point, I was freaking out, shaking. I was like, what the fuck? Like, in everything. And I showed Vaughn the text. You can ask Vaughn, dude. It was crazy shit. And then after that, I met a group of streamer friends who were lovely people. They were great. They were awesome. And I even developed a crush, which I'm going to be honest with you, because this is going to happen a couple of times when I talk about this. If you're going to date somebody who's in the same industry or workplace as you, be very, very careful and make sure that it is somebody that you can properly trust, because I'm going to dig into that later, hard fucking core. Be careful. You need to be careful. I got a crush on this one person in this group of people who, funny enough, everybody had a crush on them. Surprise, surprise. And, I hung out with this person quite a lot and talked with this person quite a lot. And, at the time, I ended up getting a bunch of new friends and a bunch of new people who had a bunch of different personalities and wonderful, various different things. And I even got a manager who had an incredible deep voice, who was such a lovely person. He well, lovely now, but he was a great guy for the time, and he always made me laugh. He made me feel like he was a wonderful, like, teacher, and even in some way a parental figure. And the reason I say in some way is that it's like yes and no, because of some reasons, and I'll tell you that in a bit. But I was really starting to bond with a lot of people, and everyone saw how energetic I was and how naive I was and how bombastic my personality was. And it was a good time for a little bit. I had just gotten my new model, which I don't know if I even still have it anymore. I don't even think it's in here anymore. Is this it? I don't know. Well, this is the Halloween version that I had made for Hayzi's Horror Fest. Yeah, this is around the time where I had a lot of shit in my face. Let me see if this is the normal one. Aha, yeah. This was Hayzi 2.0. And I drew the art myself. I had it rigged by somebody else. And it was this model it will forever be a constant reminder that I needed to get better at my art, because I had a friend look at this and be like, man, it's rigged beautifully, but that art is kind of it's kind of ugly. And I was like, oh, you think so? And they were like, yeah, like next time you should go with a different model artist personally. And I was like, ooh, okay. Not telling them that I, was the artist. And I was like, you know what? I definitely, yeah. This is the one featured on your Twitch page. Yeah. Yep. From all the extra stuffs and everything. I never really did change the things down below, did I? But yeah, no, that was a really interesting time. At the time as well, I was starting to get a lot of gifters and a lot of wonderful, wonderful people who were having a great time hanging out with me. I averaged like 40 plus to almost 50 plus viewers. I had a really chaotic community and a not so mandated Discord server that I did my damnedest to make sure was okay. I ended up talking with this group of VTubers, and I just stopped hanging out with them because I ended up confessing to this one person, and they told me they liked me back, but they were with somebody else, and that they wanted to be with me, but they wanted to be in a polycule. And I was like, no. I'm not doing that. I didn't like the other person, so no, I'm not doing that. And that left me kind of awkward for a little bit. And I just stopped hanging out with them because it turned out that they all turned out to be fucking weirdos. And I don't know. I don't know. I felt a little envious as well because some of my friends got mixed in with them too and started hanging out with them too, and it made me feel even lonelier. But obviously, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't tell anybody. I felt really awful about it. And it was at that point where I was like, okay, I need to keep parts of my life separated, because otherwise I'm going to be thinking about this thing and reliving this thing over and over in my head, and it's going to keep killing me. So I ended up grinding more. I met more VTubers and more streamers. A lot of my friends at the time were finding their own niche and their own thing, and I had met a lot of really wonderful people, it was at this point where I was getting a lot of to kind of get timestamps for everything. I'm gonna call this the Florida arc. And during the Florida arc, I was spoiled rotten. I was gifted a new computer. I was gifted lights. I was gifted clothes. I was gifted food. I was gifted groceries. I was gifted everything I could ever want and think of, especially at the time. And I was like, whoa, this is tremendous. And I was being told that I deserved these things and that I wanted these things. And I was like, oh, cool. I could pay my bills. I can buy food for myself. I could pay off bills and groceries, and it was wonderful. But a good number of those things came with people trying to get in my DMs for physical and or sexual favors. and some of them who felt genuine and who wanted to date me and who wanted to treat me right and who wanted things from me. The second I would either turn them down or tell them no, it was like the second people wanted to be my friend, who I thought wanted to be my friend, just wanted that from me and fucked off. They didn't bother to talk to me again or interact with me again. A couple of them said that they had never been with a trans person before, so I don't know, maybe that was it. I don't get it. A lot of them said they liked my personality, and I won't lie, for a lot of it, I was starting to fall for it. I was starting to fall for people liking me, and I loved the attention. I loved it. I loved that people were liking me and that people wanted to be friends with me. It made me happy. The downside to that, though, is that I have a really, really, really fucking gnarly trauma response that, with fear of abandonment, and, breakups or something that hits me really, really hard, I sleep, or I used to sleep around. So when I was at my first college, I had a really, really bad breakup, and it was one of the times that I got to experience me being with somebody of the same sex as me and a couple other people. And I was very, 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 very lucky and very fortunate that the last time that I did it was with somebody who genuinely gave a shit, who actually made me breakfast, and we never talked to each other. We both went our separate ways after that night. And after that point, I knew that I had fucked up and that I was fucking up and that the pattern might start repeating itself. So I was in Florida. I was very flirty. My personality was very sexual, was very, very like dick jokes. And I do that now, right? But in Florida and like last year, it was really bad. And there's nothing wrong with making your personality sexual. There really it's whatever. It's nice. I still desperately want part of my career to be like that and to have fun like that. I even want to go into adult modeling. I want to. It's a career idea of mine. I really want to. But at this time I was very naive, and I didn't know how to handle it or how to understand it emotionally. At the time, a couple of my friends were also going through some things, and I tried my best to be the shoulder for some of them and to make sure that they were okay. All while accumulating this community of people who were wonderful. And my community has changed an assload of times. Let me tell you, I think every 6 months to a year, it was a group of completely different people and some OGs. Nowadays, thanks to you guys have been, and I mean this when I say this, you guys have been the most heart-bound, threaded people that I have had the pleasure of being around. The majority of you guys have been with me for either the whole time or a year, 6 months. A lot of you are new. Who knows? I don't know. But I recognize so many of you, and you all have been through it with me and has seen me in my worst times. At this point in time, I had stopped hanging out with that one group of VTubers and everything. And I had a manager. I had a person who was helping me and doing stuff. It was a really good time for a while. And I was with a bunch of other group of VTubers who we were like, you know what? Why don't we do a VTuber group or company or whatever the fuck, agency or whatever you want to call it? And my eyes lit up. I was so happy. I was so excited. We were making plans, but we had this Discord and group of people who were wonderful people. They were amazing people. And eventually, all that hype and all of that went to shit when, after getting paperwork and everything done, that the manager just wasn't able to help fund any of it, which is understandable. It was a lot for just one person and a couple of people, but he said he could do it. And all the work we had and all the work that he was putting in, saying that he wasn't sleeping and everything, we all understood it, we all got it, but it was the broken promises and all the work everybody in the group was putting together and everybody was having and doing. Like, everybody worked really fucking hard and worked their asses off, only for one day to be messaged that it all just wasn't gonna happen. I was devastated. I cried again for a while. I was like, well, what the fuck was I working for? And eventually everybody got together, and there was a lot more things about this manager who was not good. It was not good, and we all came together to talk about it, about some personal things. Eventually, I called him, and he sounded tired and upset and devastated too. And he was like, he said to me personally, you were the person I was afraid to tell the most. And that fucking hurt. That hurt. So I told him I didn't want to lose him either, because he was a wonderful friend in person, and I couldn't cope or comprehend everything. And after that point in time, I sat down for days wondering what the fuck to do. He would rain into me and everything, and every time I looked at him, it would cause me pain. So I told him goodbye, and then I didn't want to talk to him ever again, and I blocked him, and that was it. After that point, it was just me and a bunch of other people doing our own things, supporting each other. And I started dating again. I had met somebody who was very nice, very charming, very kind, very loving, very sweet. And said that they'd offer me the world, and I was like, oh, it's, I don't want the world, type shit. Maybe not those exact words, but type shit, you know what I mean? So I lived out the rest of my time in Florida with my entire family not telling me that they had an issue with me, and I didn't find out till the last second, till a huge fight broke out between me and my brother, who said they would actually kill me, and which my dad diffused, but told me that we would need to use my savings to get out of Florida, that I worked hard for, that I was being told that I was selfish and keeping away from everybody else. When I paid for groceries and paid for other things, when my friends were telling me how to deal with the psychological torment, and although I had a lovely house, I had food in my stomach, I had a bed, I would have actual nightmares about this shit. And it was at the point where everyone would just get emotional for even talking analytical with me, and I was driven to almost game overing myself over it a couple of times, because it was so bad. And I needed to talk to people and talk to everyone, and the person that I was dating at the time was also very, very kind and receptive to me about it. My friends were always there for me. Vaughn, oh my god. Oh yeah, and at this point I had met Swivels, who was always very cherished and very dear and wonderful person, who has become one of my best fucking friends, who I'm always afraid to lose, who's heard me yap his ear off about everything. I met Chogi around this time too, who was also wonderful, who have heard me bitch and complain about everything, and I didn't know what to do. And one evening, I had an invasion breach of privacy when I was talking about some really heavy personal shit, where people were just barging into my room when I would be on call with people, and I just wouldn't answer. I felt very, very disconnected from everybody, and Don't get me wrong, I love my family. Ever since Florida, they've come a long way. They've changed a lot. They're very understanding, especially my mom. And, I love and respect them for it. Do I love some of them as people? Probably not, but, And, we were all fed up with Florida. And it was meant to last a lot longer. But, my dad had an accident and things went south very, very quickly. So we ended up going back after a year and a half in some change or something. And my dad's friend came down to help us move. And oh my God, he was pissed because he didn't know that we were coming down at all. But it was really weird when we tried to leave Florida. Our our trailer's tires popped. We had to wait till later on to leave. The people that owned our house were bringing a showing of people to come, and look at the house. And at this point, all of our shit was packed. So it was like a full day and a half that we had to wait and leave because we had to put new tires and everything on it. And it was like midnight the next night after eating pizza and everything. So we got in, finally leaving, coming back up, and we went to stay at my grandmother's house on my mom's side, who was very wonderful. And we stayed there for a little while. For some of you, I played Warhammer, the game with the what's his name? I always have his name in my head, but I can't remember what it was now. But the Warhammer soldier game, Space Marine. Yeah, thank you. And I was in a very small cramped garage surrounded by grasshoppers and crickets. I couldn't sleep down there, bro. No, I tried one night and one jumped on me and I was like, nope, hell no. So I went upstairs and slept. That sort of thing. And it was at this point where I was offered to stay with an individual to kind of, get my footing. This friend, we had done a lot together and they were very kind and caring. So I went up and stayed with them so I could get my treatment for my trans care. And it was like a good couple hour away and things were going good for a little bit. I had met this person in real life. It was wonderful. We hugged, we did whatever we could. We started seeing each other. And to be fair though, I even though I was on a lease of some kind, I felt very I was still under their roof. So I may have done some things like try to use their oven at like, I don't know, 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something, being as quiet as possible. I would have like a tiny light on and they would see it, or like I would make a creak in the floor and they would hear it. It was crazy how super hearing their senses were. I used to get chewed out a lot for that. Until I had my own little downstairs living space that was really nice and really cool. And this person was very loving, was very caring, very sweet, very, very cool. They were willing to give me an entire room, a bathroom, a little kitchen space all to myself. It was wonderful. It was very, very cool and sweet. I was starting to get my life on track. I had gotten insurance. I had gotten, my own groceries, my own job and everything. It took a while for the job. I had streamed full time still because, I needed to be able to pay the rent every month, which I did. I've never missed a month. Never. I've never missed a bill for anything. And, life started to get more intimate. Things were better. Things were nice. Until I started to like show signs of like my actual personality and everything, and me and this person's personality clashed really, really hard, to the point where they were very analytical about things. I was very emotional about things, and a lot of the times they couldn't understand or couldn't handle my emotional outbursts, which fair enough. A lot of the times, like I wasn't a saint. I wasn't. I was a very rough individual when it came to that sort of thing. And, you know, I still very much loved and cared for them to the point where, and they knew I had very serious depression. I had very, very, very gnarly depression. And, you know, would comfort me when I would cry and all this stuff, and would do wonderful things for me on Christmas or Valentine's Day. But when we'd fight, dude, we would fight, and it would be very, very harsh. It would be very harsh. I would get to the point where I would feel emotionally overloaded, and I would shut down and look the other way. I couldn't speak. And it felt like a parent was talking to me versus a partner. It got so bad to the point where my other friends had to intervene and talk. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do. And I come to find out months and months later, after me and this person stopped seeing each other, that behind closed doors, they made me seem like a monster. I was being talked about like I was some abusive bitch, like I was some harlot or whatever, and it fucking destroyed me. But during that time, I was getting to know their family. I was becoming very, very close to them. And it wasn't like they didn't enjoy my sexy talk or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Because we talked about a lot of that stuff too, and it was very awesome and wonderful. But when it came to actually, you know, doing stuff, I was the one that performed for them, and that was it. I barely got anything for myself. So I felt used. I didn't feel like I was getting what I needed out of a relationship. And so I started seeking out, like, I even asked this person if they were open to being able to do an open relationship where people can see each other, or we can see other people and shit like that. And they were unsure about it, so I told them, I was like, no biggie. If you want, just say no, and we won't do it. Easy. Done. Cut, paste, no problem. But eventually they warmed up to it, so it was okay. I did it with a couple of people. They did it, and everything was fine until some another VTuber or two got accused of cheating, and then I got accused of cheating. And I have never cheated in my life. It's despicable. I've been cheated on multiple times, and that shit fucking hurts. So I don't know what this person was saying behind my back to other people that I don't even know. Because it turns out, I found out that this one person thought I was a total fucking monster and a bitch and a worthless cheater because what was said behind my back. And then I find out that a friend of mine who was very close to me listened to this person, and they called me a cheater too, without even talking to me. That fucking hurt. That destroyed me. I ended up messaging them being like, you have no business being in other people's business. Let alone people don't hear my side of the story. Other people aren't hearing my side of the story. People didn't hear shit from me. They just heard what this person had to say, and they took it as fucking gospel. But you know what? It was whatever. I felt as though other people hating me that I didn't even know. That shit bugs me so much more than anything. People I've never met that I never had the chance to befriend or become friends with because they hate me. And don't get me wrong, I've been awful. I've done it too, where I was friends with somebody and I heard that they did something awful, so I blocked them and moved on from them immediately without talking to them. I'm guilty of it too. I'm not innocent in that shit. I'm not. I've done it. I've done it multiple times. Just like I wasn't the victim in this relationship as much either. Because when I wanted to break up, I couldn't exactly leave. And I used to tell them that I didn't know how to handle it and that I missed them and that I just still wanted to be around them and everything. And even after telling them I wanted to break up, so I made things confusing for them, it was still no excuse for either of us to do what we did to each other. And then it got to the point where one day this person did a really good deed for me, a really good thing for me, so that way I could find a way to work. And I tried going to work one day and I couldn't take this thing with me to work because I wasn't experienced or prepared, and I was scared. I was terrified because my way to work was a very long hill, very, very long, and I was afraid of getting hurt. So I came back and I got scolded so much to the point where they were like, you should have told me all this stuff. And to be fair, they were right. I should have told them that I wasn't ready and all this sorts of things to take this certain thing to work. I shut down. Swivels was on the line listening, talking to them, and my friends had talked to us about our time together for a while. I shut down. I walked out, and a lot of the times when I would get super frustrated, I would go for walks. But this one time, I erupted. I walked out of the house and I went for a walk, and I broke down, bro. I broke down so fucking hard. I went to this church, this spot that I would sit at whenever I was feeling frustrated, and I knew that this was it. This was the moment. I was gonna lose everything. I was gonna lose my care. I was gonna lose my friends. I was going to lose this place that I was at. I was going to, because at that point my lease was up and I was paying month to month. And it was another moment where I was seriously considering game overing myself, man. To the point that the cops had to be fucking called. Nobody could find me for hours. I finally picked up Swivels' call. Swivels, the goat, talked me out of some shit. And the worst part is that I couldn't tell anybody. I couldn't tell anyone. Because I knew that would make the other person look bad. So, I walked home. The two police officers found me. I talked to them and they brought me back to our place. They talked to us individually. I stayed in my little kitchen area when the partner went up and did their thing. I called my mom, I called X, I called Swivels, I called Shogi. I told them I was so fucking gone. I was so upset. I was so terrified. I didn't know what to do. And I called my mom and I was like, Mom, please come get me. So the next day she did. And that night I stayed in bed. My eyes were so worn out. My eyes were so worn. I had talked to this other VTuber, or this other person who was also helping me out. There was one person in particular who was friends with my partner at the time, who so desperately wanted me to be their partner. They wanted me to be their fucking partner even after I told them I wasn't interested, because I was going through something very emotional. We ended up doing some things together and they just kept fucking pushing after that, even though I told them I didn't want a relationship, I didn't want a partner, I didn't want that. We ended up doing things because I felt pressured. Shit like, you could be the one, or I could be there with you, or anything like that. Like, I felt fucking pressured. And I kept telling them no. But it was fine. I told them that, you know, they stayed with me. They stayed a friend for a while until they tried to do it again to me half a year later. So, but anyway, I was sitting in a bed, eyes dried. The partner came to me and told me, I'm sorry. I tried to make this a safe place for you. And I tried to tell them desperately that it's to make them feel better. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. So, hi Sync. Thank you for the raid. I really appreciate it, love. Thank you very, very much. I hope you had a good stream. The next day, we were packing up my shit together, me and this partner. They gave me some equipment that they didn't need or use anymore, so everything was nice and cheery and happy. Everything was fine. I let them know that things just didn't work out. Just weren't working out. And they agreed. And everything was just fine. And at that one point, towards the end, when everything was packed, they were still very nervous about everything. And I made a very dumb, stupid mistake of asking to be able to sit on their lap to tell them one final thing. I don't know why. Maybe it was just because I wanted some semblance of comfort. But I sat on their lap. They looked up to me, and I told them that it wasn't their fault. Things just didn't work out. It wasn't on them. It wasn't their fault. It was mine. I think I said it was neither of our fault. Or mine. I don't remember. But after that point, they looked at me and smiled and agreed with me. Completely. I didn't see an ounce of negativity. I didn't see an ounce of holding back. I didn't see any of that. And they agreed. Because I told them if they didn't want it, they didn't want it. And so I got up. We got up. We packed the rest of my stuff. My mom came. Him and my mom had a conversation. And then, you know, she and my mom hugged. They laughed. They giggled. They talked. I talked. And then we hugged. We were like, thanks. It was a good time. We had a lot of good times. And then we wished each other the best. And then I waved them goodbye. I went back home. Again, huge crier here. I cried all the way home. But I knew it was what had to happen. This person was my first, I wouldn't say they were my first love, but they were definitely the longest and the deepest. I've told this person and done things with this person I haven't done with anybody else. And then I get home. My mom is still trying to make sense of it all. I start saying with them I was depressed. I ended up making their garage here, my little living area with a bed and everything, which my bed is in a different spot in the house now, but my work area is still here. At the time, my brother was living here as well, him and his fiance, so I was able to make things right with them, and my one brother who told me he'd kill me. I made up with all of them. I called the police officer woman the next day telling her that I was okay and that I was doing okay. Making sure that everything was fine as a check-in. Some little bit of time passes and I'm getting used to staying with my parents again. And I start seeing that person who wanted a relationship. I didn't see them, date them or anything, but they just kept pushing for it. And then I find out later on they ended up telling a whole bunch of people that I was the one that wanted to date them, and I was like, okay, eye roll, buddy. But then I find out from a friend of mine that not only have they told a bunch of people about me and them being together, but I find out from a friend of mine that that little lap moment that I shared with them was them saying that I forced myself on them. And that I was trying to do it with them before my mom got there. I felt fucking disgusted. So I sent them a big fucking message telling them that I never wanted to see them again and that that is our word. And that is not fucking cool. I still had to go up there and grab the rest of my shit the month later while they weren't home. So on top of being told in the background, which I know they were talking about stuff in the background about cheating, I don't know what the fuck else they were saying about me. And I have to worry that they were telling other people that I was forcing myself on them, which I would never, ever fucking do. And that is very, very serious, and that shit stains them. That shit stains people, bro. And moments before my mom would arrive to pick me up after potentially almost fucking sewer sliding, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? That shit fucking hurt. That was the tipping point where I knew that they were fucking awful, dude. And the really sucky part about that is that they were interconnected with all of my friends. Everybody. So I couldn't tell anybody, apart from my closest friend group. I couldn't tell shit. I couldn't tell anybody. I had to leave some of my friend groups. I couldn't tell anybody. I wanted to block so many fucking people, and I couldn't do it. All I could tell people was that, hey, I'm keeping this shit private. So I didn't know what the fucking say. I wanted to keep my side a secret, and then I don't know, they were probably telling other people that I was some rude bitch who tried to fucking, I was probably another one of his crazy exes, one that she couldn't stand. That I was fucking going out and going crazy, telling their fucking family that I probably forced myself on them, bro. That shit is fucking disgusting and diabolical, and I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but I knew that at that point right there that they weren't fucking right in the head. When I tried to give some semblance of comfort when I was the one that went through that shit. So I spent a year here working and grinding, meeting new friends, and trying to get it out of my head. And eventually, through a third party of friends, I was the person who apologized first. I did. And I wished them luck, and they wished me luck, and that was it. This person is probably still friends with everybody. They've probably moved on. When I'm stuck here with it in my head after I've tried to move on for a fucking year and a half, and I don't know how the fuck I'm not moving on. I've tried to move on so much, and I fucking can't. To the point where I tried dating again with somebody And they were a wonderful person. They were very caring and loving and very sweet, but we moved too fast. We moved way too fast. And I just wasn't ready. So we stopped dating after like a month, and they completely understood. It's not like I like this person anymore. I just wish that I could get them the fuck out of my head. And me talking about this today is hopefully going to help with that. God, the things that I've done to cope with this shit, dude. I started flirting and talking with other people again, just to feel something. Is it hard to move on when you don't get the right kind of closure? I don't think so. I even wanted to call them, but my one friend told me, like, maybe, yeah, it may be a bit selfish because they may have already moved on, but at the same time, like, if it brings me closure. Like, I wanted to be friends with them so that way we could at least be mutuals. And a lot of people around me think that I'm going insane or that I'm going nuts or that I'm drinking and doing everything because I have demons out the ass, and it's like no fucking wonder. It's like it's no wonder. Which is why I say if you are going to date somebody within your field or your workplace, be very fucking careful. Be very careful. A lot of my friends wondered what the fuck happened between me and this person. Cool, there you go. I won't lie, there was a lot of the times where I was very moody and I didn't want to deal with it, so I stopped an argument by just simply disconnecting from it. It was like I was with a parent, dude. And now I'm still stuck with it in my head because I don't know how to properly deal with it. But, you know, hopefully, and I do feel better having talked about this shit. I do. Talking to a professional was not enough. It was not enough. When I was the one who gave... I don't know if that's too personal in saying so. I did things for them. They never did things for me, and let me just say that. But after that point, I spent the year to get better, stay with my friends, and talk with people. It wasn't until I had met a group of other VTubers and streamers who were much, much larger than me, who had a more fermented space in the VTuber scene. These people immediately treated me well. They treated me nice. They treated me like they cared about me. And I used to get on VR with them all the time. All the time. It was nice. It got to the point where one person who wanted to date me or see me, I'll never believe the balls on this fucking person, but they used to watch one of the streamers that I would hang out with, and they were like, excuse me, burp. They were like, you should not be hanging out with this person. I think that group is toxic and you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be hanging with them. I don't think you should be hanging around them. And I think that person that you're potentially going to be dating will only use you. And I was like, who the fuck are you? I was like, who are you, buddy? Like, what kind of gall do you have, bro? And then they fucked off and went up somewhere else after I told them, you have some balls to tell me that. When I was having the time of my life, it was the perfect thing that I needed after a really, really nasty breakup. And, obviously, it was hard for me to be able to cope with some of this shit, all this shit happening while I was streaming, and I couldn't say anything. Do you guys know how hard it was to not say anything? when I first started streaming again after everything. All of my friends continuing their lives and doing their thing. And I was stuck thinking about this shit every ounce of every day. It still eats me alive, dude. It still eats me alive. There's people that I don't even know, people that were friends with me who barely talk to me anymore. People that I considered friends. I did things that I never thought I would ever do. And I did them for this person. I wish they could know how much they fucked up my head. But no, that's not the grown-up answer. That's not the responsible thing. The responsible thing is to move on and not worry about it. And just forget it ever happened. Same with the people who called me a cheater behind my back. Same with the people who called me a bitch behind my back. Same with the messages that I got telling me that I was an awful person after I told them they can go fuck themselves after they said that I forced myself on them. Their friend messaged me telling me that they wish the worst for me and that I was a bad person because I told them they can go fuck themselves after they accused me of forcing myself on them. Isn't that something? Isn't that some shit? Which is more proof to me that they aren't getting the full story. All of this while I was streaming, or trying to stream. And during that time, I had everything working up to the re-debut for my new model, which I worked my ass off for. I did animations for, I did art for. I worked at a really shitty hotel that I worked really hard for. And I got really generous donations of wonderful people who helped me afford it. And all the while, I'm thinking in my head that if I ever told a soul about this, my career would be over. My career would be done because of how intertwined we were into the VTuber space or the internet space. How fucked I would be and how my streaming career would be done. They said I forced myself on them when I would do stuff for them and they would immediately go to bed. How ironic. So, streaming after that point got rough. I managed to make some new friends. I met some wonderful people that have helped me kind of get my wings back. And I was very fortunate enough to be able to properly talk to some people, professionals. I was on a bit of a watch for a bit, so I didn't, it got that bad. So bad, in fact, that I developed a bit of a thing now where on Sundays or on the weekends where I'm completely alone, my brain will completely latch on to the fact that I think that people hate me and that are talking about me and that don't want to be around me or that I'm inviting myself to shit. And even nowadays, like especially recently with how shitty my mood has been, you guys I'm sure have seen, if you are on other socials or have seen me or canceled streams because of it. I am constantly on that bridge of deciding whether or not it's worth it to continue streaming, to continue to do anything that I worked so hard for. It got so bad recently that I considered quitting just so I can try to have some sort of semblance of what I had before. And it's all so silly. It's streaming. It's one of the easiest jobs out there, sure. But, like, it means the world to me. And people don't understand that. A lot of you get it. A lot of you see it. I still get people that message me, to tell me that I'm worth it and that I'm cute and that they want to do stuff with me when I'm not interested. For a while there, I almost full sent it and did some things just to feel something. It got so bad that even my pain kink got worse. I started cutting again. That shit that I left behind years ago. I'm shaking, bro, talking about it. And it's like, you live in a decent place with decent people. You talk to a lot of really nice people and decent people and friends. Your life should be a dream. Why are you upset? You shouldn't be sad. You should be happy. Should I? It's like, I'm gonna be 28 next month, bro. And streaming has been the only thing that has kept me sane and happy. Streaming has been my coping mechanism. And even though I started to fall off of it a little bit, it's made me more depressed. So imagine my joy when the last 6 or so months, less than that, of the people that I was hanging out with and making friends with, I don't hang out or talk with anymore. How that surely helped my abandonment issues. How I don't hear an ounce of any of them anymore. Almost like I never existed. Almost like I didn't matter. Especially one of them, because I didn't date them. Separated from me, and I don't talk to them anymore. Just like everybody else who's probably heard things about me or heard things to do with me. Telling me that I ruin a mood, or maybe I depress people too much. Or that people come to me to see and have fun, and I love having fun, but I was so naive. I was so naive, dude. But I gotta say, you guys, all of you, I've been reading your messages this entire stream. You all have been my light. You guys have been, and I know it's gonna sound a bit of a stretch, but you've been my reason for living. The thing I've nurtured and worked so hard for over 3 years. You guys have kept me from doing some really awful shit to myself. And I know even my close friends, they definitely know, especially Vaughn, dude. That man has heard me cry more times than I can count. But even if only they knew, bro, how many times a night that I think about everything to do with what happened and all the things that have happened to me. And now I see this is the envious and greed side of me sticking out when I try so desperately hard to not let it take over, because comparing yourself is like the thief of joy, or however that quote goes. I'm watching the people that I was friends with excel past me. And the people that I was in the same lane with are now leagues ahead of me. Because I got depressed and complacent and lazy. I'm so proud of them, though. I'm so proud of them all. Hell, one of them is even in the same leagues as my idol. Like, that's... I couldn't be prouder. I don't like giving my sadness or pushing my depression on other people. I just wish other people knew what I went through, you know? I just wish other people could see it. And I can't believe that the people that I trusted and I loved would do that to me. I was so fucking naive. I became a monster out of it all, bro. I became something really fucking awful. It's probably gonna stay with me the rest of my life. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget it. Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. I haven't lost my passion for animation for a little bit, dude. That felt like a dagger to the heart. But I'm getting it back now. My mom told me I wasn't a monster, I was human. And that unfortunately sometimes we just go through some really awful and rough, rocky shit. Thank you, QB. Thank you, all of you. I don't want everything that happened to me to be the reason that I would quit or to be the thing that I would stop. I wish I could tell my mom the things that have happened to me. She's like, I'll be here if you ever want to listen, or if you ever need someone to listen. I couldn't be more grateful for all you guys listening to me. I feel gross. I still feel gross. I still feel it. After everything that happened, I felt like I couldn't tell a soul. I felt like if I told anybody what had happened, this other person, if they ever found out that I said anything, they would just start blasting me everywhere, telling me how fucking awful I was. When I have other people that can back me up and account for everything that happened. I don't want to attack this other person. I just want other people to know how I felt. Which is why I'm not saying their name. Yeah, that'll be offensive. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Dream Hollow and Eskimo, Jack, Thorn, Keishan, Toby, Legend, Sajori, Pomty, Bant, Cyberg, Corvus, Savage, Chess, Ragos, Caffeine, Aspire, QB, Samurai, Sync, Travis Kenny, Hollow, Dream, Felly, Kenny, Kethel, Shiji, Corvus, Vaughn, Twinkie, Lauren, and Eru. Libitina, Erangel. Thank you, all of you. Ever since last, Sonic Bro, yeah. I think ever since last Christmas and last New Year's, I've been able to properly engage myself on everything and see where to go from here. I think that's why, oh, Conch, thank you for the gifted subs. I really appreciate it, but you really don't have to, lovely. You really don't. Honestly, just having you here means the world to me. Thank you so much. I think with yeah, Samurai, all of you, Pomty, Cyberg, I think the best thing to do was to let everything out. Honestly, the last year and a half has just been kind of the same, but it's rocky up and down and everything. But I've been able to make up with my family, and even though apologizing put a lot of bricks off of my back, I feel like this definitely helped. Thank you, Platinum Shark. Guys, you really don't... I'm honestly just happy getting this out. Like, I barely talk to a lot of the streamers I used to. Of course. Of course, bro. I'm at a point now where I feel like me rebranding is probably the best thing for me. I wanted to have a night where I wanted to talk about this and remove some of this baggage, so way people can understand where I'm going through and how I've been coping over the last 3 or so years, or 1 year or 2 years. Nowadays, I still cry, I still get very depressed, but you know, I have ways of dealing with that, whether it's with Final Fantasy XIV or hanging out with my friends or talking to people, talking to my mom. I still feel like I can't exactly talk about everything that I need to because I'm sure there's a shit ton of other stuff that I could talk about. But like positive notes, I've always enjoyed the time that I've had with other friends and other people streaming. Talking with other people, hanging out with other people, getting to have and work full time as a streamer was amazing and fantastic. Honestly, over the years of being able to do what I love most, it's always been wonderful. I mean, now I get it. Like I've hung out with people who were leagues above me, and to talk to them like normal people, it felt validating. It felt nice. It felt sweet. It felt like I had come a long way. Yeah. Hell, even if it was just for a brief moment, I got to play a game with my idol. For as fleeting and as small as it was, it felt like a new high for me. I never thought in a million years I'd be able to do something like that. Let alone create animations for creators that I enjoy, and they would actually see it and enjoy it. I think that's one of the reasons why after the rebranding I'm going to dive back into art really hardcore, because I want more people to see all the wonderful creators that I love and enjoy the way I see them through my eyes. And yeah. Right now I'm still in the process of trying to get a new apartment. I have a place that I have kind of lined up, I guess you could say, like the air quotes, you know, and right now I'm just waiting to get a vehicle to do it. Yeah, find that spark. Yeah. I like being able to have a space where people can be vulnerable. I like being able to get people to like me, you know. God forbid you're vulnerable, yeah. A lot of the people see some streamer as someone that's upset and they're like, eye roll. And it's like, dude. Yeah, it's still my passion. Doing this is still my passion. Talking to you guys is my passion. Doing all of this is still my passion. Having an outlet for my art is my passion. Your Cody hates your car trips with me down, yeah. I miss having a car, dude. I miss it. It was so nice. Yeah. You have every right to feel things. It's true. You guys do as well. My streamer is a person? Gasp. You're only human, yeah. Just remember that was the new peak, but a whole mountain ahead. And there's still more peaks to reach, and you're going to keep getting higher and higher. Thank you. Yeah. I have feelings. Well, I was always taught that you should never mix your feelings and personal life when it comes to streaming. And yeah, I get that, but sometimes for something like this one, I already have talked to people and I need an outlet. I want people to know what I'm feeling. Not experience it, but I want people to know. Especially if this is something that's been in my head for a year and a half that I can't get out and it's been tormenting me. You know? Simulation. It's okay to do that, yeah. I just wish my friends knew. I wish my friends understood how I was feeling, but a lot of them are busy living their lives, and I'm proud of them for that. Do you feel a little lighter? Yeah, I do. Thank you, Sajori. I do. I feel like you could fly again. Yeah. Yeah, I've been edging that for a long time. Even when I would have like my mental breakdowns, it wouldn't feel satisfying because people wouldn't know the context. Yeah. Thank you, QB. That reminds me that if you guys are ever going through shit like that, or you feel like you've been used, or you feel like you've been taken advantage of, or talk to somebody about it. And even if that doesn't work, talk to your loved ones about it. Please. I may have a light memory. Easy. Thank you, Stas. Stas, you've listened to me about my problems a lot of the time too. I don't want to vent all the time. But I think talking about my last 3 years of streaming and experience and life experience has been able to kind of help with some things. Yeah, check on your loved ones. Make sure they're feeling good. Dude, there were so many streamers that I used to talk to that I don't talk to anymore. Excuse me. Either they quit or moved on, or they've surpassed me and they're doing their own thing, which is awesome still, you know. Oh man. It's really interesting to see, you know. I'm fearful to start dating again. Oh, bro. I'm really excited for the Mela stuff too. I feel like the Mela stuff is gonna be nice. Venting is what you need the most in Vent and Cry sessions is always freeing. I agree, QB. I completely agree. It's like stabbing 610. It's true. For Mela, dude, I've been drawing every day for some Mela stuff. It's okay. Mela gonna start a generational run. Relationships are difficult, it's true. Dude, I think the one thing about Mela that I'm really excited for is that I'm going to make her canonically trans. So it'll hit a little bit more close to home. It's like letting go of some chains. Dude, I almost wish I could talk about it more. Like, I talked about my move, I talked about my ex-manager, I talked about people that I used to talk to, I talked about my last few relationships, things I was accused of, people I would talk to. And my mom agreed that getting it out there and talking about it would help me. Even though I was supposed to stream Final Fantasy Alliance raids tonight, so I didn't lose them on reset and lose my best in slot piece of gear. Or PvP, or Elden Ring modded with Vaughn. Which over the last weekend, by the way, I stayed up over 24 hours playing Elden Ring Elden Vins, which is Elden Ring modded. Dude, I felt like a god. I was moving like an anime character, going like fighting shit. Well, me and Vaughn are gonna play some on Wednesday, so you guys can see how fucking awesome it is. We have a ton of the game to get through. We skipped through a bunch of it just so we can get to the the end areas, or the end areas, so I can get like my rivers of blood and stuff, and then we're gonna go back and kill a bunch of shit. But full send, yeah. New raids, been focusing on building my backrooms house in XIV. Oh fuck yeah, that's awesome. Kiwi, this sounds amazing. Dude, I feel better. I feel good. I hope I didn't worry a lot of you guys, or scare a lot of you. A lot of what I talk about is very deep and very dark shit. And although I may not come across as it at first, things get pretty fucking dark in my head. So, I'm really hoping that it didn't scare you. Double. Thank you, Sonic Bro. Thank you. Have I told you guys that it's really I really like it when you call me boss. It's cool. I feel like Big Boss or something from Metal Gear. Hi, Venus. The fuck? That's fine. Thank you, QB. On it, boss. Felly. Just glad you feel safe enough and it's us as your community to tell us. I think that's one of the reasons why I feel the proudest my community has ever been right now, is because it's the people that have been around the most. You guys have been around constantly, and I could be around you guys enough to do this and to talk about this. I could have easily filled my chat with a bunch of people and random people and bigots, or keep it not 18 plus and have fucking teenagers and children roaming around through the chat and everything, and have flashing colors and jingling keys and all this other shit. No. I even if my community is small, I've always wanted to be full of a bunch of people that have genuinely feel the same as I do and who enjoy being around my particular taste of content. All the kids love and support. Fuck yeah, QB. Same with you too. Like it's nice, you know. Can be one of the goons. Yeah, you can. True, Thorin, and true, Sajari. I'm gonna get distracted. Oh, you're right. I get distracted by keys too. I didn't know that you were trans when I first started watching you. Later on, I thought it might still be, but now that I know that you are, it's still the same goofy weirdo cool that you are, girl. Thank you. A lot of people didn't know I was trans for a long time. Jingle keys? Jingle keys? Oh, jingle keys. Yeah, I don't like babysitting either. Yeah, it's just too muddy, and I don't like having to deal with any of that shit. Yeah. Twinning, baby. Jingle, 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 yeah. Yeah, jingling, jangling. Your voice is already very feminine, so it makes sense to notice at first. Thank you. It used to be a lot lighter. It used to be very deep. And then I used to have it be really high up like this. Sometime around like last year or something, I used to have it be really high up like this all the time. And now I found like a sweet spot in the middle where I could be lazy and not sounding like I give a fuck and still have that that part of my voice. You proved something already. Trans people are fucking cool. It's true. I want to use my old voice for voice acting. I want to really bad. That's something I want to get to eventually. I think once I move and I put up... I have a shit ton of sound paneling. Once I put up my sound paneling, I'm gonna do voice reel stuff. Not too moist critical, not too Mike Tyson. Perfect, yeah. What's something voice critical would say, bro? Things feel better when you stop gripping so tightly. It's true. I remember those days voice training where it was way up there and floaty, and it's fun stuff all the girlies go through. Yeah, that's true. I like having it in between. You know, back when it used to be like this, when I first started streaming, I used to have my voice be very, very low. Very different in comparison to everything else that I had. You can still definitely tell it's me, but it's not the same. That and it's not as comfortable anymore. Does it hurt when you do that? Nah. It's like a tool. It's like an appendage or something. Thank you, Samurai. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Sonic, bro. Thank you, all of you, bro. Silly cutie, thank you. Who's in the room with you? My voice is low. It was so hard to hit a comfortable medium. You go from Q voice to Q voice, bro. You're gassing me up, man. And then the snake voice. Oh, I love doing Snake's voice. It's so fun. Yeah, you can train your voice to do all kinds of shit. You're hot. Oh, thank you, bro. Look, I'm legitimately I'm grateful for you guys. I'm proud of you and excited to see where you go from here. Excited to draw a fan art of the new design. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you. I'm really grateful for all of you hearing me out and listening to me bullshit. I know it's not the most bombastic type of stream ever, but I needed this. I needed this very, very bad. Like, very bad. Like, I was shaking the whole time. Especially the stuff at the end. I haven't told a soul besides my friends. Not a single person. So, I'm glad you guys were here to listen. You needed to speak your piece, and that's okay. Thank you. I also wanted to have it so that way this was documented. And that I had a place to go back to and listen to if I ever needed this. Yeah, your own will strangle yourself. It's true. Very true, Hero. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, all of you. I feel like I uncorked a bottle. Now I can focus on grinding for the rebrand. And maybe some of my friends who used to talk to me and used to talk about me or whatever will watch the stream. And they'll understand and they'll get it. Or people that used to hang out with me and be around me, maybe they'll watch this stream and understand why I was so distant. Understand why I was so cold or why I left. And why I didn't want to be around others. Yeah, true. Like I said, I was no angel. I did a lot of really gnarly shit too. That I regret. And then I hate myself over. But it's a mistake and I gotta get past it and forgive myself that way. That doesn't mean that the shit that happened to me should have happened to me. Now I'm going to have these scars for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna have to live with them. I told myself I wasn't gonna cry, but finally telling people some of this shit feels so good. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, fuck. Oof. Yeah, deep breaths, everybody. Fucking hell, bro. You kept it together way better than the other one I was here for. Thank you. Truth is liberating, it's true. Scars are fucking awesome, even emotional ones. That's true. It really hopes you needed that. I agree, Sajori. It's great to see you, by the way. I hope you're doing wonderful. I'm fucking proud of you, homie. You guys are so nice. You guys are so sweet and chill, and I'm so fucking grateful and happy you guys are here. And QB, the goat, the wonderful, the amazing. Thank you, guys. I'll have a lot more in the works. I'll have a lot more to show people soon. After this week, I will be going on my couple-week-long break. Me and my tablet are gonna be very intimate for a little bit. I have a lot of work to do. Yeah. And my mom was like that too. My mom was like, you're barely sleeping. You need a break. You need time away from your computer to think. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. I think I need a vacation. I have a vacation coming next month after my birthday. So I want to correlate my rebrand with it. Release a bunch of shit, and then when I come back from my vacation, I'll yeah. We will be here. You know how wonderful it feels in my heart to hear you say that, Travis? That you guys will be here. Fairly tasty. You cheeky soap. Anything you're excited about specifically coming up? Just the rebrand. Took a lot of courage. Like, honestly, that sounds the most like it. I'm really excited for that. I feel like it'll be refreshing. And I have a lot of projects that are going to correlate with it. A lot of art to do after that, too. It took a lot of courage for you to do this, so be proud of yourself for that. I will. Thank you. Very, very fucking much, dude. Thank you. Killer birthday. Thank you, Puzzle. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, bro. I can't. The word gets so desensitized because of how much I say it, but I hope you know that I mean every word of it. You're worth the wait. I love you guys. I love all of you. Every last one of you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see all of you. I love y'all. You all deserve your time in the sun, bro. Metaphorically speaking, the sun hurts. Yeah, Empress, true. What do you want to do for your birthday? I wanted to go to Jollibee's for the Final Fantasy collab, but it's not gonna happen. I don't have a ride and I don't have the money for that, so which is fine. It's whatever. I could just see it through pictures and stuff. Apart from that, like I was gonna do like a Smash tournament like last year, but the thing is like not everybody plays Smash. And a lot of the people that I played with last year I don't really talk to. So, I talked with Swivels about playing a game for my birthday, but I don't know, we'll see. We know you appreciate us, so change it up and tell us how much we suck. You guys stink like roses and raspberries. And it makes me giggle and kick my feet and scrunch my little toes with my crusty toenails on the mat. The big old fluffy mat under my feet. Thanks, it's I love Rago says what? Yeah, my birthday will be nice. I think my birthday is when I'm gonna release all the mellow shit. Every shadow mellow drawing that I've done, I've drawn a normal version of her with it, because I would draw the normal version, then draw the shadow mellow version on top, so. Yeah. No, you. I'm gonna miss this model. How reactive it is, how lovely and mobile it is. Hari and Chu did such a wonderful job. Same with Buncha. Maybe one day I'll afford a mellow model, but I'm gonna 2D animate everything. I'm gonna try and 2D animate my new avatar and have a ton of expressions for it and everything. So one day we'll get a mellow model. But for now, I'm perfectly okay with animating everything. Plus, it'll add some charm. It'll feel good. And it happens every single time I usually do this sorts of thing, where like I'll leave art for a while and I come back. A lot of it is pretty decent. So my recent mellow trailer, or teaser, I'm really happy that people like it. Melatonin. Yeah, thinking of the melatonin. And I know I smell like garbage. I'm not lying, you guys smell delicious. You guys smell delicious. That's true, I have improved. I've tried drawing a model a couple of times. It's really good. Yeah. Would you be mad if people called you melatonin? No, I think melatonin is fine. I finally got where mela comes from. Melatonin, yeah. It's because melatonin is gonna be a sleep paralysis dragon. Or demon. Or whatever. Sleep paralysis demon. I'll probably just say demon. Instead of dragon. And just have like the tail. I have some really cool lore to go with it. Oh, excuse me. I have some neat ideas and some really lovely things that I wish everybody will enjoy. But I think most of all, I think I'm gonna enjoy it more. I think that's the reason I'm gonna love it and love doing it is because I'm going to enjoy it so much. But yeah, I will say, to sum up over the last 3 years of streaming, it has been some of the most chaotic, up and down shit I've ever had in my life. Ever. Like, I don't think I've ever had anything like this before in my life. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Would I go back and do some things differently? Of course. But you know, me at the time did what I thought I could, and I shouldn't vow to change that. I did what I could at the time and what I thought was right at the time. So there's no sense in thinking about changing it when me at the time thought it was the right answer. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I'm really glad where you are now, though. Thank you. I want to tell all of you, whether it's for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, it doesn't matter how long or how much time you spent watching me. The fact that you took any time out of your day, out of your life to watch me, to listen to me bitch and moan, to listen to my problems, to listen to me vent, to listen to me get out what I need to get out, like, to hear a little bit of my story and to hear what it's like for me streaming. And, you know, maybe I'll talk more about it sometime. Maybe I'll talk more about how streaming has affected me even more, because I still feel lonely, sure, but I don't feel anywhere near as lonely as I used to. I have all of you. I have my best friends. And that says something. That says a lot. That says wonders. So, thank you, all of you. Really, 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 thank you. From the bottom of my fucking heart, thank you. You mean the world to me. I literally finished dinner as quickly as I could just so I can catch the stream. Oh, dude, I'm sorry you had to rush. Thank you, bro. And I've got your guys's too. Thank you for having my back. You blush. Yeah. Thank you. Now that I've talked about some of my experiences with streaming, I promise that if a lot of you want to stream or start streaming, be wary, be careful of people. Watch who you hang out with. Watch the people that, you know, you want to become invested with and be a part of and talk with those people. Become genuine friends. Become genuine friends with people. Don't let people talk you into doing shit. Don't let people abuse you or talk to you as if you're nothing. You're not nothing. You're wonderful. You're wonderful in every way possible. You have a heart, bro. You have passions and instincts and dreams that you want done like everybody else. Everybody deserves that time to shine. It doesn't matter, you know, what others say. I think as long as you have a heart of gold, you should have every right to show it. I believe in you guys. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A lot of people, especially recently, tell me that I have my heart on my sleeves, and I guess I believe it, because I am too emotional for my own good. For a while there, bro, there was nothing. I closed myself off so much to so many people. But now I feel good. I feel like I can relax and breathe. I took the harness off. I took the bear trap off my head. I took off my you know, the locket. Yeah, I needed that. You broke out of your chains, yeah. My darkest maelstrom. Well, thank you, Zajari. I will do better. I'm definitely gonna do better in believing in myself. I'm gonna try my best. That doesn't mean that I'm immediately gonna be able to eradicate all the brainworms immediately, but a stream like this, it will remind me that I have had people out there who have watched my back and who have loved and cared for me. Yeah, they rust eventually, true. That's what we all do. Sound like a poster? I have no clue. Difficult to manage some of these things. Pedestal others above me, but better aware to communicate. It's true. I always say that when it comes to my career and what I do, right now I think just garnishing this wonderful community has been enough for me. And do I want more eventually? Sure. But I want it to be healthy. I want it to be enough. Thank you guys for reinvigorating my my love for this. Thank you very, very much. Baby steps. Baby steps. And I think after this week of kicking ass and playing some Final Fantasy, Elden Ring,
bullshitting, doing whatever, and taking my break, I think I'll come back better than ever. Now that I've talked about it, I think I'll do some reaching out. Yeah, maybe some rivals. And I'll cook up some shit that you guys, I hope you'll love and enjoy. I have the biggest smile on my face. Fuck yeah. Well then, lovelies. That concludes my dumbass, but not dumbass, rant. And my experiences being a streamer and how I've felt being a streamer. I want to thank you guys all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening. For telling me that I was justified in talking about what I needed to talk about. I felt like a monster for the longest time. And now I feel so much better. Because now this is here. Everything I've talked about, or everything that I've thought about in my mind for a year and a half and longer, is here in this video. Is it a bit muddied? Yes. Was it a bit quick? Yes. Was it a bit brief? Sure. Was it truly everything? Maybe not, but you know, some other bad experiences, I could work on those another time. But it's here. You're not a monster, you're human. True, Jack Cyberg. Same here, Zajori. Same here. Yeah, part 2 if we ever need it. Maybe we'll do this again in another 3 years.
Hey, who left this bowl of onions here?
Maybe we'll do this in another 3 years. Aw, yeah, hug pile. Everybody hug. Hugs. Oh, sorry. You squeezed me so hard I burped. I crushed my spine. I got burped on. Worth it. What do you guys say we move over to the wonderful and amazing Vale? Somebody who I've met recently who has been an absolutely wonderful stress relief streamer. Vale is super sweet, really fucking funny, dude. Really funny. Like, everything she says makes me giggle and laugh and chortle in my chair, make me fucking giggle, make my belly shift how fucking funny she is. What do you guys say? That way we can have some fun and chill for a bit. I want to thank you all, for real. Thank you for this. I can come back to this now whenever I want and rewatch this. I have it here. And this was more therapeutic and more relieving than any fucking therapist I've talked to. Hayzi watches the silly raid. Yeah, true. Oh man, maybe we'll talk about more of this another time, but I'm glad. For now though, you guys enjoy the rest of your Mondays. Stay strong, stay amazing. Remember that people care about you. People love you. You are worth it. And you are special. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. Every last one of you. You're wonderful. I'm grateful for you all. So stay tuned. And thank you so very, very much. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna kiss you and hug you, all of you. Thank you.